And everybody, welcome to the Arkansas Football Report with Otis, Kirk. I'm Jason Patterson. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. It is, hold on, waiting for this thing. Oh, there we go. Finally getting pulled up. It's Thursday, August 15th. Welcome to the Arkansas Football Report with Otis, Kirk. I'm Jason Patterson. We are live here at Torchys, Hawkins, and Rogers, just off Pauline Whitaker Parkway. You can click on the subscribe button on the bottom right corner of the screen, and you can like and subscribe to the Hogville YouTube Net channel. You can get up-to-date notifications as we go live or post shorts from practice. Be sure to stop by either of the two Torchys locations in Rogers or Fayetteville here in Northwest Arkansas, which happens to be the only locations in the state of Arkansas, Otis. Try their queso that is made fresh daily in-house with the taco of the month, the Damn Good Fajita Plate, or pair the queso with the Damn Good Tacos that will open the taste buds to a whole new world. If you're heading to any of the home games this season, stop over at the Fayetteville location on MLK and join former Hog running back Marshall Foreman with myself. He is my co-host for the Hogville.net Arkansas pregame show that will air 2 hours prior to each Fayetteville home game this season. So here, really quick, is a look at that taco plate as well, Otis. It does look pretty stinking good at the fajita taco plate. There it is right there in front of y'all. So today has been an interesting day. We called each other. We decided to wear red at the same time. I walked in, I saw him at the door, and I thought, oh, we got the same minds, man, I tell you.
Yeah. It's been a crazy day. I mean, I went to the press conference today. The scrimmage, the scrimmage was closed, but I went to the press, and Sam's body language today wasn't good, man. And I don't know. I mean, but they had 8 interceptions, and of course we don't get to see it, so I've never seen his body language like it was today. I don't think we asked him, "Are you where you need to be 2 weeks today? 2 weeks from tonight, they're playing. Or right now, they'll be playing 2 weeks." He said yes, because I don't know. I mean, you could ask any question you want. He's going to answer the way he wants it, and if they weren't ready, I'm not sure he would say it. But the body language spoke volumes to me. So I don't know exactly what all is going on, but they need to get it corrected. But I think they will. I mean, whatever the issues are, I think they'll get it corrected. I don't think you'll see them throwing 8 interceptions against Oklahoma State, or UAPB or UAB. But
Alphabet soup school of the week.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be an interesting season, and there's pressure on Sam. I think he's handled it well, but there is, there's pressure. He knows it. Everybody knows it. And I still think the absolute floor for this team is 6 wins. I'm more along the lines of 7 or 8, but the floor to me is 6. And yes, that will require beating some teams. Obviously, they're not supposed to beat.
Yeah.
I can see them being favored maybe in 4 games. That would be the 3 non-conference games outside of Oklahoma State and then Mississippi State. Other than that, I'm not sure. But I would love to know. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the SEC office and ask them how Missouri got that schedule they got.
I know.
It is a joke, a complete joke. Yeah. I don't know how they got that. But, when I saw them ranked 10th or 11th in the nation, then I looked at the schedule, and well, no wonder. I mean, they do play Alabama and they play Oklahoma, but man, I don't know who else they play. That's, I just don't. I don't know, man. But they got an easy schedule. In fact, I don't even know who wrote this. There was a story online today, right before I came up here, about the SEC schedules rated from hardest to weakest. And Missouri had the weakest schedule in the SEC. They were the easiest. Arkansas, I think, had the 4th toughest, I believe. Jason, I believe it was 4th, somewhere in there, 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere in there. They had one of the tougher ones. I don't even remember who had the toughest schedule.
And that's been a reprieve over the last few years where they've been in the top 2, top 3.
Yeah, they've usually got the toughest. Well, there's no Alabama, there's no Georgia, and there's no OU. So I can see why this schedule by SEC standards, is probably a little bit softer than it's been. But Arkansas has 7 ranked teams on the schedule.
Yeah.
You know, and then so it's an uphill battle, but I think they can. I still think the floor is 6 wins. We'll see. I mean, obviously you got to play it on. We will know more after the Oklahoma State game. That's the deal. We will know more after Oklahoma State, man.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about also with how practice going today, because that's one of the things that we have really kind of honed in on a little bit is the thing that I noticed was that Arkansas Communications, whenever they gave us the stat lines for today,
Yeah.
they did not say who threw the interceptions.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I noticed. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't know if Talon threw 5. We don't know if Malachi threw 2 or 3. We don't know if KJ threw 2 or 3. They never gave us a solid number on how many and who threw what, which I think is a little revealing in itself without revealing it, really.
Well, yeah.
So that, I don't know. Sorry, y'all, we're having a little bit of camera difficulty.
Well, if there was a positive, though, Matthew Shipley kicked the ball well today.
Yep, he did. Sorry, y'all, we're just going on this.
I'm looking at the stats. I've got the stats from today that they gave us. These are, you know, I have people ask me, how accurate are these? Well, I mean, they're giving them to us from U of A. I mean, I'm sure they're. I mean, Kyle's not going to give us mislead us on stats on purpose. So I mean, I'm sure they're as accurate as they can be. I mean, he's got a job to do, and it's not statistician. So, but I think they're accurate. But I mean, somebody asked me about the completion percentage. Well, we don't get that.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, everything that we get on the stats is in my story today. I mean, everything. So, you know, every stat that I got is in my story. So, or in my story today, I put a story up from the scrimmage, and you know, and I do know. I'm gonna say this: T.J. Metcalf, a sophomore, should be starting. Yeah. I think he and Johnson and Danico Slaughter should be the back end of that secondary starters. I think T.J. had 2 interceptions today. His brother had 1. But I do think T.J. Metcalf should be starting, and I'll just say that. And I'm not a coach. They don't care what I think, but I'm just telling you, my opinion, he should be starting.
That's one of the question marks that a lot of fans have had going into the season is going to be the secondary, which seemed to kind of quell some of that with, 8 interceptions today. They talked about linebacker for the first time since I don't know when is probably the deepest position on the defense, which to me says a lot.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of where I feel like that's kind of like, because I know that you asked Sam today specifically about the defensive line interior. Yeah. He thinks that as long as Jafar and Soli drop a little bit of weight, they're going to be solid 2 deep across the line, which means that they got 8 serviceable defensive tackles and ends that they can use at their disposal. And I thought it was interesting how Coach T-Will yesterday had mentioned that they were going to possibly go 4 linebackers. I mean, that would put the linebacker at the hog on top of Mike Salmon Will.
Yeah, they're going to do some things with that defense. Brad Spence is going to be in the middle of a lot of it. Landon Jackson, obviously, he had 3 sacks and a tackle for loss today.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I think the defense is going to be really good. I think Sam got on them a little bit today, but from what I've been told. But, but I mean, we'll see. But like I said, I feel pretty good. I think at the corners, Braxton's going to be a corner.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Singletary and Keon Stewart will be at the other one of the 2. In the back end. Yeah, on that defensive line, Kiwi Rose, Eric Gregory, Cam Ball, so I mean they've got some guys, some big guys in there, and I do think that Ian and Danny will, are possibilities, and I like the edges, Quentin, Quincy Rhodes, of course Landon, of course Anton's back. That makes a big difference.
That does make a huge difference with having Anton back.
Yeah. So I like where they're at there, but with those guys. I'll tell you a kid I like, and I'm bouncing around on you, Jason, but Braylon Russell.
Yeah.
I like that kid at running back, man. He is a load. 6'1", 6'1", 250. Got speed.
He's a solid 6'1" also, because I've stood up beside him and during practice. I'm a solid 6 foot. This guy's, now don't get me wrong, he's got his helmet on. He's got the helmet on, so he looks a little bit taller.
Right.
But I'm not looking at him eye to eye. He's a little bit taller than I am.
Yeah.
And he's not a fat 250 either. He's a solid chunk of muscle 250.
Yeah.
Which is kind of replicates what we see with Jaquindon Jackson.
Yeah.
That guy is a yoked out 225-pound back.
Yeah. He's got some size there, and then Dominion comes in. Rodney Hill and Tyrell Reed are a little bit smaller, but they're good backs.
Yeah.
They've got 5 running backs there. I like the tight ends. Luke has Ty Washington and Barkeith Gums. So I think they've got a ton of receivers. I mean, Jordan Anthony had a touchdown catch today from Talon.
Yeah.
Got behind him. He's got the speed to get behind a lot of people. I like where they're at, Jason. I like what they're doing there. I think the depth is pretty good, but I may be overrating this team. If I am, I am. But I'm pretty impressed with where they're at and what they're doing with this team. I'm probably higher on it than most people are.
And I also want to say congratulations to Luke Has. He got engaged over the weekend. Also, that was on social media as well. So congratulations to both of them. He did it on the 50-yard line at Razorback Stadium. Which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah, he's sharp, man. He's a great tight end. I talked to DJ Williams last year at the A&M game at the end, towards the end. He got hurt, and we both agreed that he could be the 3rd Mackey Award winner at Arkansas since they joined the SEC. Of course, DJ and Hunter Henry were the other 2, but I think next year, not this year, but next year, I think Luke Has could definitely be Mackey Award winner.
Yeah, because you got Taylor Green that can come back next year as well. Yeah. So the next couple of this year, next year, it's set up pretty well. One of the things I want to talk about the quarterbacks, because I know that there has been a little bit of, I wouldn't say an alarm, but I think a little bit of notice that fans have had since this morning's scrimmage. Bobby talked to you about. To the media about on Monday how comfortable he is with Malachi Singleton.
Yeah, I asked that question. I asked him if Taylor Green got hurt, are you comfortable with Malachi? And he had a good answer to that. He is.
He is. And I don't want to discourage anybody from this, but, KJ Jackson is kind of sneaking up behind him a little bit because his accuracy, I feel like, is a little bit better than some people might have thought it was. Yeah,
you just don't want to throw a freshman in, though, if you don't have to. Let KJ get some work. Hopefully he gets some action against UAPB. You'll see Taylor, and then hopefully Malachi takes over. And then hopefully 2 to 3 series, maybe KJ can get his feet wet there in college. He's going to be a good one, KJ is. I don't think he's ready right now. There's no point in forcing him.
No.
But you really, and Bobby made this point, you don't know what you've got with Malachi really till he goes out there and gets it plays, because he didn't play. I don't believe he played a lick last year. So really, you can feel comfortable about Malachi if you're Bobby Petrino, but you still don't really know till you see him in a game, and you just don't know. That's the case of anybody.
Yep. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We're here live at Torchys and Rogers. Also, post all your comments, concerns, questions. We'll put those live on air. We'll go over those with you as well. So, I want to talk about the kicking game for just a few, because I know that that's something that was a topic of interest this afternoon whenever the stats were given out. We saw, that it kind of looked like you had a have yes and a have not almost, but at the same time, trying to see who the
Matthew Shipley.
Yeah.
And Kyle Ramsey.
Yeah, Kyle Ramsey. He was hurt, he said. He had a groin issue, but they kind of threw him out there just in case. And so that kind of hampered. He missed all of his kicks.
Yeah, I asked Sam today if he feels like Ramsey. Shipley struggled in the spring. He struggled mightily. I asked him if bringing in Ramsey, a All-American, at that level, if he felt like that maybe ignited a little fire under Shipley. And he said, yeah. So, I mean, I think so because Shipley's a different kicker now than he was in the spring. And maybe that's probably not all of it, but I do think that's part of it.
And I don't think that's a bad thing either, because that was one of the huge questions that we had coming out of spring was, okay, we need a kicker to replace Cam Little.
Yeah.
Or Arkansas does. Sorry, not we. Arkansas needs a kicker to replace Cam Little. And then the type of performance that we saw at the spring game led me to believe, and I think kind of you as well, to Sam might need to bring somebody on maybe to spark the fire, if not take that job. Yeah. And it looks like it just sparked the fire on that.
Yeah, it wasn't just the red-white game either. It was the whole spring. Every scrimmage we saw, Shipley struggled big time. And so did Calvin Vito. Yeah. And, it just wasn't pretty. And it was dangerous. I mean, it was scary because you could just see the offense moving the ball down there and then them coming up dry and missing field goals. Because I know people gripe when you have long drives, you settle for a field goal. Yeah. But believe me, 3's better than nothing. Yeah. And you darn sure don't end up with nothing. And, we'll see how all this goes. But I like the way Shipley. I know Fountain's a really good recruiter, good evaluator. And I don't think, Shipley was good at Hawaii last year. Yeah. And so I was surprised how bad he looked. I'm not going to lie to you. But apparently he's got it turned around. And, we'll see. But they need him because they're going to need kickers. In the SEC, kickers win games. It comes down to decision. And like I said, when you drive down LSU twice in the first quarter and you settle for 6 points, that's not the way you want, but it's sure better than settling for or ending up with nothing. 6 is better than nothing. So, you got to have a kicker. And apparently they've got one in Shipley. Ramsey was an All-America. I think he could kick if he needed. Got a groin injury. And I'm going to tell you, those groin injuries, man, I've had one or two. And, man, when you do, that's painful. And when I played softball, that's pain, big time.
It is. And, I want to bounce around for just a second more. I want to talk about the Metcalf brothers for a few. Yeah. Because, let's face it. You have got an extremely tight, bonded group of defensive backs, possibly the tightest group that you've had in quite some time here at Arkansas. And I got a chance to interview TJ and also Dallas last year, coming in as freshmen. And one of the things that TJ kept talking about was, hey, this is great right now, but whenever we get Tevis on the hill, it's going to be even better. And
he wasn't joking, was he?
He was not joking. I mean, he was dead on accurate. He was looking forward because he was, they're both rooming together. Mm-hmm. And this is I wouldn't say a partnership. I think this whole defensive back group is more of a brotherhood back there, because you can tell how close-knit they are in practice. And I think that is going to translate to the field during the games.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. I mean, you get good chemistry, it helps the team, man. You got to have good chemistry because you can win with bad chemistry, but it's difficult. But no, I think the Metcalf, like I said earlier, I really think TJ should be starting, man. I mean, I mean,
you got to find a spot for him.
Well, yeah. Well, I think there is. I think he and Johnson and Slaughter. You can put Slaughter at the hog.
Yeah.
Put TJ and Hudson. TJ and Johnson at the safeties, and they're gonna run pain. And Hudson Clark's gonna play. He's good in that dime package. Let him kind of freelance there. Because I tell you what, he's a smart player. Reads the ball. Reads the offense really well. And there's a spot for all of them. Look, there's a spot for all those guys. Anthony Switzer, all of them, man. There's a spot for those guys. And but they've got to get TJ on the field. All he does is make plays every scrimmage, every practice. And he's made them ever since he's been there. And hopefully he gets his shot this year. I hope so. He had 2 interceptions today. Tevis had 1. Darren Wilson a few days ago really praised Tevis Metcalf. He praised TJ, but Darren Wilson really had high praise for Tevis freshman. So he's gonna play. So I don't know, man. I mean, Arkansas struck gold getting those 2 kids.
Yeah, they did. They really did. And that's another thing too, is that Arkansas went into Alabama
Yeah.
And they're getting productive defensive backs. And that is fertile ground for used to be Nick Saban, but now Kalen DeBoer. But, the thing is that, the relationships that the staff has made with those kids inside Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, for that matter. There's some fertile ground down there that they keep plucking these. I know that they may be 3 stars, but the thing is that those 3 stars, they're making into 4 and 5 when they get on the hill.
Yeah, I don't worry about stars. I saw when they go to OU, they get the highest bump of anybody. I mean, that system is so flawed that I've worked at those places. I know how those rankings come out, and I'm just telling you, there's a flaw in the system, and it's not the gospel like some people want to make it out to be, and it's just not. And I'm going to tell you, if TJ Metcalf is definitely a 4-star player, probably Tevis too, but whatever. I mean, I don't care about stars. All I know is TJ makes them see stars. Those offensive players, when he hits them, they see stars. So I like both those kids. I'm more familiar with TJ. I mean, Tevis, we've seen him some.
Yeah.
But I know the coaches have a lot of, like I said, Darren Wilson. All of them have praise for. I wasn't there yesterday when T-Will came in. I've got the transcript, but I wasn't there for him. I was out of town, but I got the transcript, but haven't had time to really study it. But I'll get him next week. I'll be there. Bobby, I was there for him, and I'm looking forward to all this. I like getting those coordinators too.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun. It always is, and it's kind of hurt next week, Otis, because next week we're starting to get into towards game week. And game week means that we don't get to see as much as we have been seeing. And so
to me, that's okay. I'm not worried about that. I'm ready for games. Get to see them when they play games. We go there for 4 periods or something. I mean, we see fastball. Other than that, you're seeing Indy. See them work with the position. I mean, I don't get a whole lot out of that. I mean, the fastball is good, but the rest of it, I'm not worried about him closing the practice. Let him close them. I want to see games. That's what I want to see. See the games, judge them there, and even the press conferences. People say, well, it's kind of softball. Well, I mean, what are you supposed to do? You ask questions, like I said earlier on this show. You can ask any question you want, but you can't make them answer it like some fans won't. And they're going to answer it the way they want, and and that's fine. But I like seeing the games and judging them and making my opinion then, and that's what I'm looking forward to is the games. I'm tired of practice. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm tired of going over every day. I'm tired of practice. I'm ready for games, man.
Same here. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening, I should say, here at Torchys here in Rogers. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. So they got a damn good fajita plate, and that's kind of their new spin on for this month's Taco of the Month. And they have a pretty stinking good lineup also as well. My favorite personally is the beef fajita tacos. Those are pretty darn good. I know that whenever Dudley was here, he would always get the breakfast tacos. He said that him and Patriot love those to death. So I want to thank, Marcus and Leighton and the whole entire crew here in Rogers. And they've taken great care of us for every moment that we've been here and helped with them, and then they've helped with us too, and it's been a great partnership so far. I mean, one of your favorites is the chips and salsa. I mean, how is that?
Not bad at all. Yeah, I had that earlier while I was here, and still got some left over there. I'll knock it out after we get off the air, or take it home and knock it out. But I'm sure the Bulldog will help me.
Oh, I'm sure
he loves those chips, man. He loves chips. He eats anything, but him and the Shih Tzu and the Schnauzer, they'll all be ready for some chips. So, yeah, the Bulldog loves them, man. He inhales them. He doesn't really eat them. He just swallows them and wonder what smells, see what it was he ate. Vacuum cleaner, man. That dog vacuum cleaner.
My beagle is too, man. Max, good Lord, that dog. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. What's really funny too is that it doesn't matter if it's vegetables or if it's fruit. That dog he's almost like a goat in a way.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But so we're going to take a quick break here for just a moment, and we're going to come back. And on the flip side, I've got some LeBron that we're going to go over. I know this is a little bit different. I know this is a football show, but I'm going to tie that in, and also want to go and we're going to talk about predictions and stories that I'm going to be writing a little bit going forward this year, and we'll just talk a little bit more about spring and what we're looking forward to with UAPB. So we'll be back in just a moment here on the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk, hosted by Torchys Tacos here in Rogers. All right, everybody, we are back here in Rogers at Torchy's Tacos off of Pauline Whitaker Parkway. Be sure to come in and try their damn good fajita plate, which is their taco of the month right there. And also check out their full service bar and the house-made queso that is made daily. It's got a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of sriracha, a little bit of guacamole, a little bit of tender love and care from the kitchen staff in there. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. So I know I teased it just a few minutes ago, talking about a little bit of LeBron, this, that, and the other. So this afternoon, and I'm going to give Mason his props on this. Mason Chuck found this. LeBron James had posted on his story about Monte Harrison, wide receiver here at Arkansas.
Really?
And was talking about, hey, he's a 29-year-old freshman that played baseball. And he said, my career's coming up to an end here soon. What about me?
Yeah, he can come out and play for the Hogs. I tell you what, Monte's brother plays for the Lakers farm team, the South Bay Lakers. So, he's had some call-ups. He played some with Memphis. He played some with the Lakers parent team. But, yeah, it's Monte is it's going to be fun to watch him, see how he does against UAPB. I mean, he's one player that you're going to be interested to see how he does because it's been so long since he played in the game, and so it'll be interesting, even in that UAPB game. So, yeah, I'm anxious to see him. I know Limbo's super, super high on him, and he was he was rated that way out of high school. He was a 4-star, and obviously had a lot of offers. I think committed to Nebraska, and ended up signing with the Milwaukee in the pro baseball. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him because I haven't got to watch him much out there in practice. I mean, I've seen practice, but I mean, I saw him make a catch or two.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that much. We don't get to see much, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the game. He's got good size, good speed.
Yeah.
He's got everything. He's got everything you want in a receiver. He's got size, speed.
All the tools.
Yeah, he's got all the tools. Andrew Armstrong and Tyrone Broden and Monte and Well, it's big receivers, and then you got guys like Isaiah Satina, smaller guy, who can make things happen. So I like the mixture there. Ronnie Fouch done a good job with the receivers.
Yeah.
And of course, Luke has a tight end. I mean, I think he's as good as anybody in the country at tight end. I really do. I can't imagine there's a better tight end anywhere than Luke has. So, I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, I like what they're doing with the offense. Taylor Green's a big kid. I mean, legit 6'6". So, yeah, I mean, they got size. You talked about Jaquindon and Braylon Russell earlier.
There was a video earlier from scrimmage today where Jaquindon ran over 4 or 5 guys, and that was something that he was doing on the regular when he was at Utah, which helped lead them to a couple of Rose Bowls. And you have a guy that has had some high level experience, that has had some, his moment in kind of in the limelight. He's not afraid of it. He's not going to shy away from it.
No, he's not.
And that's what kind of gives me, and I'm not trying to drink the Kool-Aid. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just trying to give everybody that, watches us, listens to us, reads our articles. These are the things that we're seeing. We're not trying to, force feed propaganda or anything. We're just showing, hey, we've got experience in what we've watched and what we've noticed and what we've seen on the Hill. And this is what we're seeing. Well,
I know in the spring game, I asked him after the game, I said, when you're inside the 10, first down, can you carry it can they stop you if you carry it 4 times? He said, no. And I believe it. He was bouncing off people, running over people in the red zone. But I really believe if you get him at the 10-yard, you get Arkansas at the 10-yard line, opponent's 10, and give it to him 4 straight times, I'm not sure they can stop him, Jason. He said they can't. And I'm about halfway a believer. He runs hard. He's a big load. And I'm going to tell you, Braylon Russell, man, that kid's got a great future. I'd love to be his agent because he's going to be a rich guy one of these days. That kid's going to be rich. And big guy, young but big and fast. He may not be a 4-3 guy, but I've told this story. I think I've told it on here, but I've told a lot. I was at a camp when he was in the 9th grade going into 10th, and I'm with a scout. Guy was looking for 7-on-7 players. He was out of Memphis, and we were sitting there watching the running backs. It was the day Braylon got offered, and at first when he was and this guy thought Braylon was a senior. He was I told him, he about freaked out when I said, man, he's in the 9th grade. He said, you got to be kidding me. And I said, no, I'm not kidding. He was at Lakeside then. He hadn't made it to Benton yet. But I said, no, that kid's a freshman at Lakeside High School over in Hot Springs. And he was.
Are you good? Just trying. My kid over here.
He was impressed, man. And I mean, he should be. He's a big guy. He was big then. He wasn't 250 back then or 240, but he was about 225 maybe. I don't know. But he was big. But Arkansas offered him that day. And, he eventually decommitted, and then came back. But Braylon's somebody that's got a really bright future, Jason. He really does. And you can say I'm drinking later or whatever. It's Kool-Aid with him because he's legit, guys. I'm telling you, if he stays healthy. He's had in high school, he had some injury issues. If he can stay healthy, he's big time.
Yep. One of the things that I want to kind of delve into this for just a moment. And one of the things that I should say, not things, one of the situations that Arkansas needs to have this year to not only have a 6-win season, but also, maybe a 7, maybe an 8-win season, is you have got to have a couple of X factors, one on each side of the ball. One of the X factors that I've kind of circled around is Jaquindon Jackson. There is a guy on each side of the ball for Arkansas to be successful this year. Teams have to specifically play, do a defensive scheme against to make sure that they stop him, take him out of the game. Because let's face it, last year Arkansas did not have that. They did not have that X factor on either side of the ball where team had to account for them on every single snap. This year, I think that there is, and I think that is Jaquindon Jackson. I think that he is that guy that teams have to account for every time he touches that field. It doesn't matter if he's lined up in the eye, he doesn't, or he flexes out to a slot, because we've seen where Bobby has toyed a little bit with the power I formation, kind of bringing that back too.
Yeah, and I've always kind of liked that for me. I think he's going to show multiple looks to the defense.
Mhm.
You know, if you get out there and it gets out that you're practicing the I formation, that's something else that Oklahoma State's got to prepare for,
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
You may not even use it, but it's now that it's out there, I guarantee you Oklahoma State has to be aware of that, has to prepare, at least to some degree, they have to prepare for it. So the more you can make a team prepare, the better off you are.
Yeah.
And that's good, something Bobby's really good at. And I'm looking forward. Man, guys like these guys playing their first game as a Razorback. I don't care if it's UAPB. I'm really looking forward to the Taylor Greens, Jaquindon Jacksons, the Braylon Russells, the Monte Harrison we talked about, the guys playing their first game as a Razorback. These three offensive linemen. I'm just looking forward to that, man. Xavier Sorey on defense.
Yes.
TJ's not new, but I think he'll get more extended time than he did last year. But you know, I mean, all those linebackers. You know, Anton at defensive at the edge. I'm looking forward to that.
I think he's one of those breakout players that
Yeah.
not a lot of people know about yet, but they will get to see a steady dose of him.
Well, I had a guy tell me that familiar with Buffalo that he's better than Jared Verse. If he's better than Jared Verse, then look out. And I'm not saying he's better than Jared Verse. I love Jared Verse. He's with my Rams.
That's first round talent
yeah.
right there too.
But Anton, hey, just the fact he's in the same sentence as Jared Verse is pretty darn impressive. But and I'm not saying he's better than Jared. I'm just telling you what somebody told me. But that was this guy's opinion, you know. And he's seen a lot of them. But I'm looking forward to that. That's what I'm really looking forward to as much as anything for that first game. Is to see these guys that I don't care if it's UAPB, just to see the guys that are new.
Mm-hmm.
That we've seen them in practice. We saw them in the spring game, a lot of them. But I'm looking forward to seeing them over at Little Rock, Jason. And I know you and I will be there, and you know, and we'll have John and Jerry and some other guys there. So, you know, Kevin's going to be there. So we'll see it. But, you know, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. You know, last year, UAPB was kind of the coming out party for Brad Spence. I know it was the first game of the season for him. Yeah. He was a freshman. But I think that
wasn't UAPB last year.
Oh, that was Western Carolina.
Yeah.
The Western Carolina.
That was year before last UAPB. Yeah.
But last year, Western Carolina, that was kind of his, you know,
sure.
Hey, I'm here. But this year, I think it's set up for him to have a breakout season where he steps into that Paul role, or heck, even, I mean, he's a solid number two. He's the number 2 linebacker on the depth chart, right behind Xavier Sorey. I think that he's going to fit in nicely. I think it's kind of a coming out party for him this year.
Yeah.
The X factor on defense, I think that we're going to see possibly him have maybe the biggest season, and Arkansas needs him to have the biggest season of his career, is Landon Jackson. Teams are going to have to account for him everywhere. I don't know if they're going to kind of move him around a little bit to give teams different looks, but that might be something that we'll see here in the first couple of weeks.
If you haven't checked the stats today, people, he had 3 sacks and a tackle for loss today. Yeah, I was outside typing on the stats. I didn't get to hear his press conference. He and Luke has press conference, but we've got the transcript here. But I know Landon is in for a big season. So is Luke. So is Taylor. You know, these guys are in for a big season. That's why I'm optimistic about this team.
Yeah, I really am too. So one of the things that I've been milling this over a little bit in my head a little bit, and we've talked a lot about in the past with Sam and kind of how he has handled the staff and how he approaches the staff. And I was listening to a podcast with a sitting D1 head coach, and he said, you know, the first thing that a head coach's responsibility is to teach his staff. Understand what he wants them to know, what he wants them to execute on the field. And I know that there's been a lot of people that have really given Sam a hard time with the I don't knows, or the colloquialisms that he comes across with little quibs, you know, his cold damn beer and turn that jukebox on and stuff, which we have not heard hardly at all this season.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons is that he's stepping up as that leader, as that person guiding. And I know this is going to sound crazy, guiding Bobby Petrino and Coach Woodson and Coach Williams, and helping them. And I think with him giving, the offense to Bobby and the defense with Coach T. Will and Coach Wood, that has allowed him to kind of step back and say, what do I need to do to help these guys? And I think that's where Sam is actually a little more comfortable this year than he was last year.
Well, yeah, and he didn't have Barry Odom or Bobby Petrino to reference to last year. He had Barry before that, and this year he's got Bobby, and that helps Sam. And he got somebody he can bounce ideas off of, and and it's good to have Bobby here. And obviously a great coach, but he'll help Sam. And Sam did have one I don't know today. I don't remember what it was about, but he did have one I don't know. But yeah, I mean, people get a little bit hung up on that stuff. I don't pay attention to that, but some words I don't know if you as a head coach you can never say that, but he does, and that's Sam being Sam, and you get what you get. Sam is Sam, and I think he's going to be good this year. I think they're going to be good. I think the staff will benefit by the addition of Bobby Petrino, the addition of Eric Mateus, the addition of Kobe Smith, the addition, of course, Ronnie Fouch.
Yeah.
He's been a very nice addition.
Yeah.
And that was the one I didn't know that much about was Ronnie when they hired him. I knew Bobby.
Yeah.
I knew Kobe a little bit from what his resume was. I didn't know it, and then Mateus, obviously, I knew from when he was here before and everything. But Fouch was one guy when they hired him. I'm sitting there, I don't know anything about this guy. But I've been impressed with him. He's a good coach, very good recruiter, and I'm looking forward to see what he does with the team.
Yeah, and the thing that we had talked about, and I kind of expanded on a year or so ago too, is, and I know we're kind of going back and forth for just a second, but there's reason for this because Sam has corrected things that have happened in the past. And has, we've talked about his trajectory upward instead of downward because, I mean, a stark contrast to what happened with Ed Ogeron and LSU. And I know I've mentioned that a couple of different times because Sam was on that same path. I mean, he was on that same trajectory of if my staff is not going to be as good as what the previous guys were, it's going to be all for naught. And that's where Sam has really kind of stepped up his game, really. And I don't think he's gotten enough credit for that because Bobby's able to teach now. Bobby is able to go in there and be the X's and O guy that this Razorback football team needs him to be. They need him to be kind of the sleuth of play calling. They need him to be the guy that is going to set the defense up in the first quarter for exposing them in the third and the fourth quarter, like he did against Arkansas when he was at Missouri State. And that's where I think that he's going to be able to shine when it comes season, in 2 weeks, because we haven't seen that.
No, and I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to Bobby as an offensive coordinator. And he said, what did he say, Thursday? He said Tuesday, I believe it was, when we got him, what a good job that Travis Williams does. Makes you adjust and have to play. Travis knows pretty much what Bobby's trying to do, and he makes him play left-handed, to a degree.
Yeah.
And he's really complimentary of Travis Williams and that defensive staff. So I'm looking forward to seeing Bobby unleash it against Oklahoma State. And I'm excited about the season, guys. I'm tired of practice. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm tired of going over every day. But I'm ready for the season. I'm ready for real football. And, two, when we go to the games – we'll still get quotes and stuff, but I can also tell you, Jason can tell you what we see and what we think, without just taking somebody's word for it. Because honestly, we probably see 15, 20 minutes of practice right now.
Yeah.
And that's getting ready to end. And that's fine with me. I'm glad it is because it's not a whole lot. It's nice for the cameras, video, and pictures, and the John getting pictures, and Craven and Pig Trail Nation getting video. That's good, but for a reporter, there's very limited what we get out of that, considering everything. But I'm just looking forward. I'm looking forward to the real deal, man.
Yeah.
I remember the basketball term called the real deal on the hill. Well, that's what I'm ready for. Real deal on the hill. Football, you know.
I also wanted to ask you: has there been any recruiting updates here? I know that a couple of weeks ago you were probably about as busy a man in America as there was.
Yeah.
But has there been any updates? Has there been any progress from staff?
Yeah, I'm proud you brought that up because I had mentioned they're going to get 2 kids that's going to move the needle. And one of them was Colton Yarborough. The other one is going to announce on August the 30th.
Okay.
It was either going to be this weekend or the first pep rally.
Okay.
And his team plays that Saturday. And so he's going to announce the 30th, which is the day after Arkansas plays UAPB.
Yeah.
So, there will be another edition on August the 30th.
Okay.
And it's a big-time player. I'm telling you, man, he's a big-time player. And unless something changes, but, I mean, right now it's a go, and it's for August the 30th. Because I put on Hogville, I think Wednesday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, that it was either going to be the first scrimmage. The weekend or the first pep rally, but it's going to be the pep rally, and that is on August 30th, the Friday. And so, there's going to be some big news coming. There's others, but that's getting ready to happen here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, Jay. I guess it'll be 2 weeks from tomorrow. 2 weeks from tomorrow.
2 weeks from tomorrow. Also, I know it just popped this up there. There's a QR code on the top right-hand corner of the screen there.
Mm.
If you get your camera out on your smartphone and you go and hover over that QR code, that actually is a direct link, Otis, to the Torchys website here in Rogers. Also, whenever we go live for the Arkansas pregame show, there will also be a QR code that'll go directly to the Fayetteville store too. So you can go and you can do online orders, or you can pick up merchandise as well. This is a direct link to the Torchys website. So make sure to wander over that QR code and get some great merch, or order some damn good tacos. So, can you expand a little bit about the type of players, the 2 players that Arkansas picked up out of Oklahoma 2 weeks ago that really I think fans, they heard it, but they didn't quite fully encapsulate how good these 2 players were that didn't go to Oklahoma, didn't go to Texas, and didn't go to Oklahoma State, which that's fertile ground for all 3 of those schools, that Arkansas went in there and just.
Well, I can make it pretty simple with Colton Yarborough, the 6'6", 242-pound edge out of Durant, Oklahoma.
Jesus.
He may be the best commitment Sam Pittman's got since he's come to Arkansas. I'm just saying he may be. Now, he's got Tavion Wallace. He's got Drew Sanders.
Yeah.
He's got guys like that. So I don't know. But, I mean, this kid's just going into 11th grade, so he's got some time. But that's the kind of player Colton Yarborough is. They beat OU. I'm sorry. They beat LSU, Georgia, Oklahoma State, and others to get him. The other one, Adam Austin, safety, 6'1", 212 out of Lawton Mack, safety, same thing, 2026, number 5 player in Oklahoma. In 2026, Yarborough's number 1. But those were big pickups. I'm going to tell you, a kid that maybe didn't get the publicity is Cameron Settles, running back out of Little Rock Park. See, I think he's better than the kid that's committed to Arkansas from Texas. I think he's better than the kid that went to Kansas State from Parkview. Sorry, man, I've got a hiccup, but
okay.
There's some good ball players, man, and they had a good day that Saturday, 4 for 4. They're the last 8 commitments have all gone to Arkansas, all been positive for the Hogs.
Yeah, and that's really important because Sam, he's let's face it, he's been sledding uphill, with herd of turtles on some of this recruiting business over the last few months, and he's been taking it on the chin in the public eye. But the thing is that him and Bobby and the recruiters and T. Will, Coach Woodson, they understand the course and the type of players that they want for this system that they have, and they may not get everybody. They can't get everybody. And whenever the NCAA comes up next year and limits how many scholarships a team can have, which effectively might end. I don't know if it's going to or not. I really hope it doesn't, but it might. It's definitely going to limit walk-ons. and that's a huge blow. But
Yeah.
it also might give some walk-ons scholarships that might not have gotten scholarships before.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword a little bit.
Yeah, they're making changes, but I just know that getting kids like Settles, Yarborough, and Austin, that's how you get a winning program and getting recruits like that. Tavion, I felt like, when Omarion Robinson went to OU and the running back went to Kansas State, people just went crazy, and they just forget like a day or two before, Tavion Wallace committed to Arkansas. I mean, even some that day they got a junior college kid that Saturday, a defensive back, and some of them dwelled on that. When you just landed Yarborough, you landed Austin, you landed Settles. I mean, come on, people. I mean, you don't get everybody, and you can find a negative in anything you do. But when you have a day where you get Colton Yarborough, you get Adam Austin. I always want to call him Austin Adams, but Adam Austin and Cameron Settles, and I'm not saying anything bad about the junior college defensive back. I just don't know much about him.
Yeah.
But I do know those other three players, and I went down to Durant, got invited down there, and had a great time. And that kid's a real deal, man. I'm just telling you. If he was on my show, Big Trail Nation show Sunday.
Yeah.
And Adam may be on there this Sunday, but we'll see. But I'm just telling you, man, it's they're doing well. I mean, they've really picked it up. They're number 8 in the nation in 2026, and I think they're in the 20s in 2025. But they're going to get some help in 2025 here at the end of the month, and they will move up in the rankings after they get this kid, Jason.
Yeah,
they will move up some.
That's really great news. So make sure to follow Otis on Twitter, and whenever that news breaks, and sign up for the notification for him on Twitter, so that whenever he does retweet that commitment, or he'll also have a story on that too, you'll also get that notification as well. So that way you can tap right in and find out who it is, and size, speed, everything that you need to know. Otis will have you covered on that.
Yeah.
So
Kirk's Corner on Hogville is another place where I've kept people updated on this next commitment, and it's on there. I haven't really tweeted it or anything, but get on Hogville at Kirk's Corner. Well, all of it, but I mean, for football recruiting, Kirk's Corner. Kevin has basketball, Dudley has baseball, and there's Monday morning quarterback where Jason, Jerry, mine, Dudley, everybody's got their stories on there. So I mean, John's got photos, and so check Hogville out, man. I mean, I'm not, and the biggest thing, all that info is free, man.
It is free.
It's free.
And starting this year also, Otis used to write the predictions each week, and it comes out on Thursdays. And so the announcement on that is I will be taking that over for Otis. And so every Thursday I'll have a score prediction, kind of a breakdown of the team that Arkansas will be facing that Saturday. Well, this will be this Thursday, really. So it'll probably come out Wednesday, maybe, or Thursday, either or. And so we'll have that ready for y'all too, so that you can kind of peruse through that. And it'll be an in-depth analysis of the opponent Arkansas will be taking on. Also, we'll have score predictions from Otis, Jerry, Dudley, myself, and John.
And so I think Kevin does it too.
Kevin does it too. And
so.
Well,
Drake, I'm not sure if Drake's going to do it or not, but he may.
We're going to have to help John with the score predictions a little bit. he was the infinite Razorback positivity.
I'm going to tell you about John. If they played the NFL All-Stars, John would pick Arkansas.
He would.
John would pick Arkansas. It's something about photographers, because Natasha that worked for me at 24/7 used to do the same thing. She'd pick Arkansas no matter who they played. And so, but John, if they played, and I love John, but I'm just saying, if they played the Kansas City Chiefs, he would go with Arkansas.
That might be interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
No, he would. I promise you, John would go with Arkansas.
He would. All right. Well, everybody, I want to thank you all for jumping on with us this evening. I want to thank Torchys Tacos here in Rogers. Make sure to check out their full-service bar. They got TVs everywhere over at the bar, inside and outside on the patio. So during this college football season, come on over. They are going to be your one-stop shop for college football. great drinks, and also weekly or daily drink specials and some damn good tacos. So make sure to jump over to either location here on Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers or the Martin Luther King location in Fayetteville. For Otis, I'm Jason. I want to thank you all for jumping on with us tonight. This has been the Arkansas Football Report with Otis Kirk. Take care. Go Hogs.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you, Jason.